Today on Tin List Tuesday, we will be talking about 10 projects that you can make with your envelope punch. Be sure to be subscribed for more videos like this. Hello crafty cuties and welcome back to my channel. If you're new, welcome. My name is Jessica. There is a lot to be shown here. I'm going to have some details on the times when each project starts down in the description. I probably am going to have to turn this into a two-part video, so you're probably just watching part one right now. I will have both videos kind of linked together so that you can just move on to the next when you're done watching the first part. And I really hope that you find some inspiration in this video to use your envelope punch board for many things. If you guys want to see a part two, let me know. I have a ton more things that I would love to make with the envelope punch board. And yeah, I hope that you guys enjoy it. Let's get into this long video and I will talk to you guys later. So you are just going to need paper, some type of adhesive, some type of cutting board or cutting or scissors, and your punch board. So we are going to make an envelope that measures 2.5 by 3.5 inches. This size will fit perfect in a pocket letter. And your envelope maker will have all of the different sizes that you can make. So you will follow the same exact steps for any size that you want. So we are going to be making the 2.5 by 3.5, so we're going to need a square that is 5.5 by 5.5 inches. So I'm just going to cut my paper right now. Okay, so now we are going to take our piece of paper and we are going to start by punching it. You want to line this corner, your left corner, up at the 2 3/8 mark. You will find that measurement on your little guide over here. So once you have it lined up, you just punch. You take out your little bone knife, I think it's called. Honestly, I don't know. And you're going to take your knife and start right in this corner right here and just pull down right along this little divot that's in here. Okay, so now that we scored down that diagonal line, you are going to take your paper and turn it 90 degrees. You're going to line this score line right up to the score guide. It's actually really simple. You only need to pay attention to your score measurement the first time. Punch, score, turn. You are going to round your corners. This is optional, you don't have to. I like the look of it. And that you just push your corners into the back here and punch down. So now you just fold on all of these score lines. So this is what we have so far. So you see you just fold right along, and then I'm going to use my tape runner here right along the edges. Make sure not to go all the way up because otherwise you're going to tape this all the way closed. And there you go, very simple. Okay, so to make these cute little envelope paper clips, the measurements that you are going to need will be a 2.5 by 2.5 square. And then if you want the rectangle one, you will use the score line of 1/2 inch. If you want the square one, you will use the score line of 1/4 inch. And you're just going to do the same exact steps that you did to make the first envelope. And then I just glue the paper clip onto the back and pop a teeny little square piece of paper over the paper clip just to make it more pretty. Super cute. Okay, so let's just make some cute bows now. Okay, so to make these bows, you're going to need 3 strips. You're going to need 2 that measure 1 inch by 5 inch, and you're going to need 1 that measures 1 inch by 6 inches. So now we are going to take one of the 1 by 5 inches and one of the 1 by 6 inches. We're going to do the same thing. We're going to punch it down the center. So for the 5-inch one, I'm going to line it up at 2.5. Punch, turn over, line up at 2.5, punch, Then I'm going to take my 6-inch strip and I'm going to punch at 3. So whatever measurement you're using, you're going to punch directly in the middle. For these ones, we are going to round the corners. Now you're going to take your other 5-inch strip, you're going to punch down the center, right at 2.5. Flip over, same thing. Now for this one, the ends, you are going to slide this in directly down the center of the strip, lining up with the punch, which if you look down at kind of eye level, you'll be able to see where it is. Same thing on this side. So now we are done with the punch board. Okay, so now our strips are ready to be folded into shape. So you're going to take your little knife here and just run this right along, just like so. So just to those two, and then you're just going to take your tape or glue right along the edge on both sides, and you are just going to fold this in and just match it up with these rounded corners. And just kind of pinch those to make sure they are secure, and then do that to this one right here, your 6-inch. And now we just have to layer these on top of our last piece. I like to use regular white glue for this. Just take your bigger bow, place it on top, and then just go ahead and layer this one right on top of that. And you can decorate these with rhinestones or buttons, really anything. So there you go. I'm just gonna decorate mine up. I really like the layered bow look. I think it's just a little bit different than the typical 1-layer paper bow that you see everywhere, and I hope that you guys enjoy these. Okay, so on to a really simple thing that you can do with your envelope punch, and that is making these file folder cards. And I made one into an actual folder, and then here is just like a spacer folder. What you're going to need is paper, hole punch, some tape, your envelope punch, and the size of the paper is going to depend on your planner or binder that you are making these for. This folder right here just came out of my binder. I actually got this at Target, and so I just pulled this out to kind of do my measurements, and that's kind of what you will need to do as well. First of all, I'm going to show you how to make the file folder. And I have a 12 by 12 piece of paper here. This one's going to have pockets as well. And I already measured this out, so this is double what I need. So we are going to start out by folding this not quite in half. You're going to leave about a 1/2 inch on the back or on the front overlapping. Now you're going to take your envelope punch and you're going to figure out where you want your tab to start. I am going to do mine down here, and that's where you will do the first punch. And then bring it over, and you can personalize how big you want this tab to be. I usually go over to about 2.5 inches, lining up with the middle of the last punch, and boom. And we're going to trim off the excess. I'm just going to turn mine over and open it up. You're going to fold up, and I'm using this as my measurement. If you've seen any of my cooking videos, you can tell I craft the same way. I don't really use measurements. I honestly usually just wing it. So now just fold to where that was. Now I want to split my pockets down the middle. You don't have to do that. You can keep it all one piece and just tape down the middle. Take your tape or adhesive and just do 2 strips. One right there and then one down the middle. There we go. So now you have your own file folder that you made, and that was just super easy. This will be perfect for someone who is making their own planner. And then a really fun thing to do is to decorate these. And here is a folder divider that I made. To make this, you will do the same exact steps, but just with a single piece of paper. And I just used white cardstock and some shimmer mist with a stencil to make this one. Okay, Okay, so for this envelope album, you're going to need 6 envelopes, and if you still need to figure out how to make those, refer back to my first tutorial. Go ahead and assemble 4 of the envelopes and choose what you want for the album cover and the back. So don't fold those yet. So you're going to need those. You're going to need some kind of adhesive, so glue or tape. I don't think we're going to need scissors, and you'll need some type of brads and string or ribbon to close your album. Now we're going to attach our brads, and we're going to attach the brad on the back side, so right above the center bottom part back, if that makes sense. And you're going to do that same thing to the other one. And then after you attach your brads, you can go ahead and continue assembling these 2. So you're going to start with your album cover. And by the way, these are 4x4 envelopes. You're going to take your second one and you're going to slide the flap all the way down, and then you're going to fold it over this way. I like to kind of test it out and do it once before I glue this down. I like to use the liquid glue because I find that when I've used the tape before, it's hard for me to slide it in and position it just right. So with the liquid glue, you have a little bit of leeway. So basically just slide it down and then flip it over, and you're just gonna repeat this. So for this last one, you're going to actually, instead of sliding it in like we have been, like this, you're going to flip it over and it's going to slide in just like so. So your last page is going to have 2 envelopes on the side. And then you're going to close it like this, and then you're going to glue this flap right here around your entire album, and that kind of creates like a little bind even. And attach your string to the brads on each side and tie it, and there you go, a cute little mini album. And when you are gluing over your very last flap that's going around the entire album, go ahead and put some glue on this edge just for extra security, since this will be one of the folds that gets the most wear. For the envelope box, you can do any size that you want. I'm starting out with a 8 1/4 by 8 1/4 piece of paper, and if we look on our little guide here, it tells me to score it at 3 1/8, and you are going to still follow those measurements. So we are going to punch at 3 1/8. You're going to punch, and this is basically almost exactly like making a normal envelope. However, we are going to do one additional punch and score on each side. We are going to move over to the left 1 inch. So we're gonna go over to 4 1/8, punch and score. You do not need to pay attention to measurements anymore. Just go ahead and turn and line up with each score line and score. And just continue this on all 4 sides. So go ahead and you can kind of fold at all of your scores, and you can probably kind of already see how we are getting our shape. On these little teeny triangles that we created right here, you're going to cut down one side. So you can see basically we have created a little flap now, and you're going to do that on all of these. And then you're ready to fold your box envelope. So if you're going to be using this more for like an envelope, like it is, I would suggest cutting these flaps completely off. But if you are wanting this to be more sturdy or something for some, I don't know, for a gift or something, I would keep them on, just because it does hold the box together a lot better. So go ahead and just tape everything together now. So to see the rest of the projects, please go ahead and click the screen now if you're on a computer, or you can click the little eye up in the corner of your phone to see the rest of the projects with the envelope punch.